And when I hear this number, my first thought is, that's a lot of car for that price point.
Welcome back to another episode, folks. This is season 7, episode 2. I'm Gaston Rossato.
And I'm Rossato, and this week we're looking at the 2020 WRX STi, a car with big rally history, a 5-time World Rally Champion, a 3-time Manufacturer Championship. The car has great history, and I'm super excited to share this with you guys.
What a pedigree. First and foremost, we want to thank Subaru North America for this opportunity. They gave us the car for the entire week to enjoy it, so I think we have a pretty good consensus of what it's all about. But before we do begin, please hit that subscribe button. Friends, you and I are going for a drive. All right, Renzo, we've been driving this car for an entire week. It's been an absolute blast. It checks off so many boxes. Obviously, it's a performance car / sports car, no doubt. It's got comfort, extremely spacious cabin.
Yeah.
We're obviously very tall. We've talked about that many times. There's extra space. We have the back seats. We have a massive trunk. The car has good styling, the big iconic wing, and I think it's priced right. We'll talk about that in a little bit, as far as where it's at and why I think personally the car has a lot of value. You can't deny it. The 3 pedals, right? They're so scarce, so uncommon nowadays. So the fact that we have this and it's a short shift, it's just a blast to drive.
It really is. It really is a blast to drive.
We have all the amenities, of course, like any new car. 7-inch digital color display here with Apple CarPlay, Android Auto. I love the ceramic white finish. The interior, it's got this suede throughout. Red stitching.
Yeah, the red leather trim right here on the seats is a good touch.
STi on the headrest.
With the seat belts.
I love the red seat belts. It gives it a more refined look.
You have that red piping on the headrest here as well. A lot of little details that it gives it that sporty feel.
It does. It gives it a refined, higher end feel. Right now we're driving the car in sport mode. There is a sport sharp mode, which is got to be a little extra. And let me tell you, there's a big difference when you're driving the car off of sport and in sport. In sport plus sport sharp, there's like a temperament there.
Yeah. No.
It's not the most user-friendly car from the clutch accelerating.
Right. It's a little more feisty.
It's a feisty little sucker, which I really like. And then, of course, you have the differential, right? Moving it to the front, moving to the back. That will keep on auto. Especially, here we're driving on the asphalt. This car, it's out of its element right now. Although we are working with the optional summer tires, very sticky tire.
You have everything you need, and it's just not an excess. It's just what you need to drive the car, enjoy the car.
It's still simple.
It's comfortable. It's sporty. I love the sound, and I fell in love with these cars when I was younger. They entered into the rally world in the 90s, in the early 90s. And I think since then have become a very iconic symbol of rally.
They have. They dominated. They dominated in their time. And like you said, that sound that this car makes, very distinctive. Of course, it being a Boxster engine. Give it a little gas here.
These turbos.
Is it the fastest thing we've ever driven? Absolutely not. But I love going through the power band. I love the upshift. I love the downshift.
Yeah.
It just, It's an enthusiast car, and this car is not about high speed. It's not about how fast you can go from 0 to 60. This is not about that. This car is about handling.
Yeah.
This car is about, the braking, the steering, the suspension that it has. That's where this car shines. And it's gonna shine right over there, in the gravel, on the dirt, in the snow, in the wet asphalt. That's where this car is all about. So having 310 horsepower with those kind of capabilities, there's not a lot of cars out there that can do it. I mean, I can't think of one right now. So if you do, put it in the comments below.
All right, we're back from that drive, Renzo. This car is a true, fresh breath of air. I love it because some might say the car is probably outdated in the sense that it's been the same car for so long. And given the world that we're living in, that everything is so high-tech and so fast and so modern, I like that old school feel.
It kind of stays true to what it always was.
It stays true to what it is. This is a direct descendant of a world rally champion. I think some of that element, some of that aspect, some of that feeling is still there in the car. And me, as an enthusiast, I truly appreciate that. It's going to be interesting to see what Subaru does with the STi moving forward into the following generations, because it's inevitable. It's going to have to fall into that pattern, right? Or just like everything else. But the fact that we have a 2020 still under these older kind of specs, I really appreciate as an enthusiast.
Come on, it's an all-wheel drive, 310 horsepower, manual transmission car. That sounds amazing. You can't mistake that sound. That sounds great, right? And this car, the WRX STi, was born from the Subaru Impreza that started its history back in '92 to race in these world rallies, right? And a very, very big history and good history in the championships. The Impreza now in 2014, that name was let go and it's just known as a WRX STi, what we have here today. So let's go a little bit more specifically on this car we have today. What's the sticker price on that car?
Right, so the car is important to know. It starts its base at $36,995. This one is equipped with a $5,700 option that includes the 19-inch forged BBS alloy wheels.
Finished in that bronze, which is beautiful. I love that.
Very classic. Yeah. It reminds me of the classic, rally cars.
Yeah.
The STi tuned performance suspension with the Bilstein dampers, the Recaro bucket seats.
Yeah, that's a nice touch.
A lot of badging in black. They call it cherry red front grille, outlined. The brake calipers
are finished in silver.
In silver, right. And those are, by the way, Brembo performance braking system, which obviously you're gonna need in a car like this. That whole thing, guys, brings us to a total of, including destination and delivery, $43,959.
And when I hear this number, my first thought is, that's a lot of car for that price point.
It's a lot of car for the price point. I think if you look back a couple of years ago, it felt like it was a high price.
Yeah.
Today, we've been desensitized and it doesn't seem that bad. I think there's a lot of value in it. Again, looking forward, right? We have something that is probably the end of a life cycle, essentially. And it's up to the consumer whether that has value for you or not.
Yeah.
I love the fact of driving a car so modern that doesn't have brake sensors, doesn't have brake assist, doesn't have all these things beeping at you.
Yeah, that's
you just had to focus, you had to drive, and it gave me this just old school feel in a brand new car.
Very true, and I didn't realize that you have no beeping, there's no sensors going off when you kind of come off your lane a little bit. It's just kind of pure driving.
It's an enthusiast
and it's 2020, which is great. I love that. I love to see that.
Now, granted, it's a car that we're not, unfortunately here in South Florida is not that popular.
It's not, no.
It's a car that deserves to be driven on loose gravel, snow, water. That's where it really, really becomes alive. And, there's an old saying, at least in the industry, that, or at least I like to say it, and I'm not by any means calling this car slow, but I like driving slow cars fast.
Yeah.
310 horsepower allows you to go through the entire power band. It allows you to shift. The tight ratios makes you shift a lot. It's got a turbo that does lag a little bit. So you gotta keep the revs up. Keeping the revs up, it makes you shift more because you have to. You want what the car delivers and you have to work for it. It doesn't just give it to you. So, you know, some might see that as a con. I truly see it as a pro.
I was about to tell you, you got me sold. I think I'm about to, once we finish here, I'm gonna go to the dealership and sign off or what. It's very true, you put it really well. It's exactly what it is. It's driving the car.
Let's talk a little bit about now on as far as what does the factory warranty entail. And this car does come with a limited warranty and roadside assistance. And then we're talking about a 3-year, 36 miles, that's basic, and then a 5-year, 60,000 mile powertrain, and a 5-year unlimited mileage rust-free protection, which is good for obviously the up north, or if you're gonna use this car for what it's really meant to be. In addition to that, you have a 3-year, 36,000 mile, 24/7 roadside assistance program on the car.
All right, all this talk, I think it's my turn to get behind the wheel. I love the car.
It's deserving. By the way, they're picking up the car today, so.
Yeah, so I gotta go and drive this. I gotta go drive this thing already.
All right, guys, we wanna thank you for watching. Thank you to Subaru once more. Hit that subscribe button. We'll see you next week. I'm Gaston Rossato.
And I'm Rossato. Peace out.